Thanks, Dave. Hello, everyone. Well, since we got our continuing resolution to have the budget extended, and the legislature is not paying attention to us right now, which is always a good thing, I thought I'd talk about loan quality. It's my favorite topic this time of year because it's just the right season to focus on showing everyone the work that's involved between pre-funding and post-closing QC to keep everyone safe and to keep the company running. Honestly, this is such a key. It's worth every penny because it not only ensures that your repurchases are minimal, but it also, if done right, can really add some operational efficiencies. And this is the time of year, December and January, where I think it's perfect timing to get everyone focused on this as you're closing out the year. Things are a little quieter, and then opening up the new year because sales is going to need their push and their energy and all the rah-rah that goes with, by the time you get to mid-January and February, that this is the time of year to just get folks zeroed in, dialed in on what makes good quality. Now, Fannie and Freddie have great websites on these. I'm sure your QC people are very focused on all the tools they have. But what I really stress is it's important to get the entire company aware and engaged on how your QC plans work, what is being done in pre-funding QC, and what is being done in post-closing. Pre-funding is really where the rubber meets the road. You should have all your energy focused on that at first and make sure that that is solid. Post-closing QC, obviously you've got to get that done. You've got to meet the agency's requirement. But where you find and can deliver results and save yourself in post-closing QC is by having really solid pre-funding QC on a huge percentage. That's not a 10 or 20%. Your goals should be up at, is it 50 or 60% of your loans get looked at for something? Pick a targeted category. So a few tips that I found in the Beyond the Guide that might make you very interested in going and checking these out and talking about it across the company. Think about taxonomy. We use this word. It's the categories that are used to define where a problem exists when pre-funding QC or post-closing QC, which I'll just call QC in general, where they find an error, a finding. When there's a finding and they categorize it, make sure everybody's using the same categories. Make sure the categories are detailed enough that you can really find out where the issue is. It's not just a category of assets, but it's a category of a type of asset that you might need to zero in on, like FHA gifts, right? Which can be super complicated. The other area to think about in categories is training. Is my training group using the same type of categories for logging where people are taking training? Do you have things broken down that when someone says, hey, I had this problem in QC, how did we solve for it? Most of the time, there's some type of training or coaching involved. Are they using the same categories and taxonomy in their categorizing and reporting that allows to make those pieces meet? Publications, what type of documents do you have that people are referencing? Are those using the same type of categories? So really thinking outside the box beyond just QC as one tip that I have. Another thing that I found in there is there's some great reads about the technology that's available. Are you talking to your vendors to make sure you are using your tools all the way with all the features and full value that's out there? So make sure you're using your software pieces correctly. And I know Alan can talk quite a bit about that. And then the third tip I'll talk about is escalation processes. Can you find out what the problems are? Do you have hard stops or alerts or some other type of escalation process so you know where people are struggling every day so that you can pull those numbers together and say, well, let's get a group of people together, meet, and talk about where are the pain points in our business process so that we can then get to the bottom of what's actually occurring. And what a couple of lenders have found that I've talked to recently is that it's not the technology that the problem is, that where the problem is. They'll say, oh, the technology doesn't work. You know what? The technology is probably working. It's probably the operators or how we have it set up that really needs to get taken a look at. So look yourselves in the mirror as you're going through all this great QC information. Don't look at it as I'm doing this, I got that done. Where's my checklist so I can do the minimal? look at these items to go, these are great tools to point out where can I get better, faster, and more efficient. This is the time to do that. Focus on getting better results to reduce your margins and be geared up for 2024. So have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving, everyone. And I look forward to being back in person next week. Thanks, Dave.